is because this is what we've been waiting. We have been waiting for this type of energy, right?
The Cleveland Browns just detonated the quietest bombshell of the offseason, and the league felt it immediately. Cutting ties with Dillon Gabriel wasn't about depth charts or preseason reps. It was a power move, a signal flare sent across the NFL that uncertainty is no longer welcome in Cleveland. As sources claim, this decision had been circling the building for weeks, with internal conversations centered on clarity, command, and control. The Browns didn't want a quarterback room divided by speculation or media-driven narratives.
He showed that he was a first-round level talent out there, not a fifth-rounder. The whole thing has just been beyond ridiculous at this point. He is a first-round level talent that teams just did not want to take a chance on. They didn't want to deal with him and everything that came with his brand. And now after that performance, he has the entire world.
They wanted one voice, one leader, one direction. That direction is Shadur Sanders. This wasn't an emotional decision. It was calculated. Coaches and executives reportedly tracked how the offense responded when Shedeur took the huddle versus when rotations created hesitation. The difference was night and day. Timing sharpened. Receivers ran routes with conviction. Protection calls came faster. The offense didn't just move, it flowed. That kind of cohesion can't exist when a locker room feels like a competition instead of a hierarchy.
Short, so
Well,
I don't think any teams really thought that he was going to...
They said the floor was a long-term back.
I guess I don't... What's the controversy here?
Wait a minute. Now, I know he was the first overall pick. Kyler Murray's real short, too.
Yeah.
I mean, can we be somewhat respectful of the guy's height at some point? I'm sick and tired of talking about the guy's height all the time. Yes, I know he's not tall.
Kyler Murray, I think, is way more...
Reporters finally asked Dillon Gabriel the narrative that's been spinning around his name. You know, he processed the information completely better.
Dillon Gabriel became collateral damage in a larger vision. As sources claim, there was respect for his professionalism, but the ceiling wasn't there. The Browns didn't want safe. They wanted transformative. Shedeur brings swagger without chaos, confidence without recklessness. That balance matters in a city that's seen quarterbacks come and go like seasons. When news broke, fan reaction exploded instantly. Jerseys flooded timelines. Stadium mock-ups with Shedeur under center went viral. Cleveland doesn't just want a quarterback, it wants an identity. And Shedeur fits the blueprint perfectly. Composed under pressure, vocal in leadership, surgical in execution.
Like Shadur Sanders is really good the other day. It wasn't perfect to start, but as a rookie to start the first preseason game of the year, you got to give like a little slack there. That's not easy. He overcame some stuff there and did really.
League insiders noted something else important. This move wasn't just about the present. It reshapes roster construction, play calling philosophy, free agent interest. Players want stability at quarterback. Veterans want to know who's steering the ship. Cleveland just answered that question loudly. This wasn't a benching. It wasn't a tryout gone wrong. This was the Browns choosing conviction over comfort. Shadur Sanders didn't inherit QB1. He claimed it, and the rest of the league just got put on notice. What makes this move so disruptive is how it changes Cleveland's entire football ecosystem overnight. As sources claim, once the decision was finalized, the coaching staff immediately adjusted install schedules, play designs, and situational packages specifically around Shedeur's strengths. That doesn't happen unless belief is absolute. This is no longer about development timelines. This is about winning now with the right architect at the controls.
Gabriel, all accounts are that he is going to play in this game. What are you looking for from him specifically?
Not much. And for context and to be fair, I had a 7th round grade on Dillon Gabriel and a late first, early 2nd round grade on Shedeur. And I think if Shedeur had been drafted in the 3rd round and Dillon Gabriel in the 5th, that will give the Browns an opportunity to only keep 3 quarterbacks. I think
Shedeur's command of the offense has reportedly been unmatched. Protections get set early. Audibles come with authority. There's no second guessing in the huddle. That confidence spreads. Linemen fire off the ball harder. Receivers attack leverage more aggressively. The offense stops asking questions and starts issuing statements. This clarity also removes pressure from every other position group. When the quarterback is settled, everyone else settles too. Defensive leaders can focus on execution instead of compensating for offensive inconsistency. Coaches can call games without fear of overprotecting the quarterback. The entire operation breathes easier. As sources claim, internal analytics favored Shedeur heavily in decision-making efficiency, red zone command, and late-down execution. Those are winning traits. Those are playoff traits. And Cleveland hasn't tasted sustained success without those ingredients in decades.
Albert Breer in his snippets yesterday on SI wrote, I confirmed Mike Silver's report that the Browns got trade offers for Dillon Gabriel on the Saturday morning of draft weekend, which essentially confirms the interested teams were prepared to take him in.
The ripple effect stretches beyond the locker room. Agents are watching. Free agents notice teams with direction. Cleveland suddenly looks like a destination instead of a gamble. That matters when building depth and culture simultaneously. The message was simple and ruthless. No more ambiguity. The Browns are done hedging. Dillon Gabriel's exit closed the chapter on uncertainty. Shedeur's ascension opened a new era. The offense belongs to him. The future belongs to him. And the franchise just made its boldest declaration in years. National reaction has been split, but the people who matter inside football circles see the move clearly. As sources claim, multiple veteran defenders around the league have quietly acknowledged that Shedeur changes how defenses have to prepare. That's high praise in a league where respect is earned, not given. Defensive coordinators already note how quickly Shedeur diagnoses coverage rotations and punishes hesitation. This isn't about highlight throws, it's about consistency. Shedeur stacks correct decisions, he avoids negative plays, he understands game flow. That's how quarterbacks win locker rooms fast. Cleveland's front office also understood something crucial. Quarterback competitions rarely create champions. They create tension. The best teams commit early and build around certainty. That's exactly what happened here. As sources claim, younger players rallied immediately once the decision became clear. Leadership thrives when hierarchy is established. Shedeur's voice carries weight because it's backed by organizational trust. That alignment is priceless. This move also reshapes the AFC landscape. Rivals now have to game plan against a quarterback with momentum, confidence, and full institutional backing. That's a dangerous combination. The Browns didn't just name a starter, they crowned a leader. And once that crown is placed, everything else falls into line. There's also a psychological edge this move creates that can't be overstated. Shedeur now walks into every huddle knowing the franchise stands behind him completely. That freedom unlocks creativity, it sharpens instincts, it allows quarterbacks to play fast instead of cautious. As sources claim, the playbook is already expanding. Tempo packages, aggressive third down calls, trust throws outside the numbers. Those are signs of confidence from coaches who believe their quarterback will deliver. This also forces accountability across the roster. When the quarterback is unquestioned, excuses disappear. Execution becomes mandatory. Standards rise. That's how cultures change. The Browns have tried patience. They've tried rotation. They've tried insurance policies. None of it worked. This time, they chose decisiveness. That alone changes how the league perceives them. Shadur Sanders didn't arrive asking for opportunity. He arrived demanding responsibility, and Cleveland handed it to him without hesitation. This moment will be remembered as a turning point. Not because Dillon Gabriel was released, but because Cleveland finally chose certainty over fear. As sources claim, ownership fully backed the decision, viewing Shedeur as not just a quarterback, but a brand builder, a locker room anchor, and a long-term face of the franchise. The Browns have spent years searching for stability. They found it by committing fully instead of halfway. That commitment empowers everyone involved. Shedeur now carries the offense, the expectations, and the identity of Cleveland football, and based on everything unfolding, he's built for it. The declaration has been made, the direction is locked, the noise is gone. The moment Cleveland removed the last layer of quarterback uncertainty, everything around the franchise shifted fast. Practices reportedly changed tone immediately, the pace increased. The urgency sharpened. There was no more hedging, no more if this happens then that planning. The offense finally had a single voice calling the shots, and that voice belonged to Shedeur Sanders. According to sources close to the team, coaches noticed an immediate difference in how meetings flowed. Questions turned into confirmations. Concepts turned into execution. That's what happens when a team knows exactly who it's riding with. Shedeur's leadership style is a major reason this move stuck. There's no panic in his presence, no extra talk, just clarity. Teammates reportedly describe him as direct but calm, the type of quarterback who doesn't need to yell to be heard. That matters in a locker room full of grown professionals. Respect comes from command, not volume. Another major factor was how Shadur handled pressure situations internally. 2-minute drills, red zone installs, third and long simulations. According to team insiders, Shadur consistently delivered under those moments, while others hesitated. Coaches don't ignore patterns like that, they act on them. The Browns also paid close attention to how defenses reacted. When Shadur was under center, coverages disguised less. Blitz looked softened. Opposing units respected his ability to diagnose quickly. That kind of defensive adjustment says everything about how a quarterback is viewed across the league. This chapter isn't about hype, it's about alignment. The Browns finally aligned philosophy, leadership, and execution behind one quarterback. That alone changes outcomes. Cleveland didn't just simplify the depth chart, they simplified the mission. Win with conviction, win with authority, win with Shedeur Sanders. What's unfolding now is the ripple effect every front office hopes for after making a bold call. The Browns' offensive identity is taking shape in real time, and it's built around precision, tempo, and confidence. According to sources, play designers are leaning deeper into timing-based concepts that demand trust between quarterback and receivers. That only works when the quarterback owns the room completely. Shadur does. Wide receivers are running routes with more aggression because they trust the ball will arrive on time. Tight ends are attacking seams without hesitation. Running backs are releasing into space knowing the checkdown won't be late. These small details stack up into real production. There's also a cultural shift happening. Younger players are reportedly gravitating towards Shadur naturally, not because of status, but because of consistency. Same approach every day, same preparation, same accountability. That's how leaders are built, not announced. From a strategic standpoint, Cleveland is now playing chess instead of checkers. Defensive coordinators can't key on conservative calls anymore. The Browns are willing to stretch the field vertically and horizontally because the quarterback can process it all. That flexibility forces opponents into uncomfortable game plans. This move also signals something bigger league-wide. Cleveland isn't operating scared anymore. They're not protecting egos or contracts. They're protecting direction. That matters in a division as physical and unforgiving as the AFC North. Shadur Sanders didn't need time to grow into the role, he stepped into it immediately, and the Browns didn't hesitate once they saw it. This is what commitment looks like when a franchise finally believes in its own vision. Now the pressure shifts outward, to the rest of the league. Cleveland has removed every excuse, every distraction, every debate. The message is clear. This team believes it has its quarterback, and it's building accordingly. According to sources, future roster decisions are already being filtered through one question. Does this help Shadur win? That's how contenders operate. Opposing teams are adjusting scouting reports. Defensive backs are studying tendencies. Pass rushers are altering rush lanes. That only happens when a quarterback is taken seriously. Shadur has crossed that line already. What makes this moment dangerous for opponents is momentum. Confidence compounds. Once a quarterback feels trusted, decision-making speeds up. Windows get attacked earlier, mistakes shrink. That's when teams start stacking wins. Cleveland fans feel it too. There's a different energy surrounding the franchise now. Less skepticism, more anticipation. For a city that's waited decades for stability under center, that emotional shift matters just as much as the tactical one. This wasn't about cutting a player, it was about choosing a future. The Browns chose clarity over chaos, leadership over limbo, and direction over doubt. Shadur Sanders stands at the center of that choice, fully empowered and fully accountable. The declaration has already been made. The identity is no longer in question. Cleveland is moving forward with purpose, and the rest of the league is officially on alert. If this breakdown delivered clarity and insight, show support by hitting like and subscribing because the next chapter of this story is just getting started.